Are you ready? Can Crush Us. It don't really get no better than this the podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock 'em out like boom bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Got a shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody. Power driving, hit 'em with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break 'em, let's go. Yeah, Can Crushers. Yeah, Can Crushers. Let's go.
Hi everyone, this is Ringside Rain and you're listening to Can Crushers Podcast. And now, here is your host, Mark the Mark Martinez.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, yes, welcome back for another Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast, the Spotlight Edition. And today, I have one of the competitors from the Shawn Shultz Futures Tournament at Pro Wrestling Clash. You heard myself and Tyler T.Y. Sutton talking about it yesterday. We're rolling out one of the competitors today, and he is AJ Black. Yeah, I'm excited to hear what AJ is going to bring to the table. Yeah, I threw my own little spin on that. I don't know. I'm in a mood today. I'm excited to see what he's going to bring to the table. He's got a few years under his belt, but I don't know a lot. But I do have a big announcement coming up after we come back from commercial break, as I am introducing Mr. AJ Black. So stick and stay tuned for that. Of course, we have to do the cool things that we always do here on Can Crushers and tell you, hey, don't forget about our WWE affiliate code. It's down in the show notes. You know, it helps out the podcast when you order from there. If you're looking for the new LA Knight shirt or a Tiffy Time shirt or whatever shirt or anything you're looking for, sometimes you get a discount, sometimes you don't. We always say we're very transparent on that. We're not going to guarantee anything. It's just the way the WWE offers them and what it goes for and this, that, and the other. But that's just the way it is. Sometimes you get one, but you will always help support the podcast. And that's phenomenal within itself. I'm getting all the wrestling references in, aren't I? These are unplanned, by the way, folks. And if you really want to help support the podcast, check out our merch as well. We have t-shirts, we have hoodies, we have crews, we have tanks. Go and check them out. It's in the show notes as well. It's a crowd made and it's cool. There's a ton of different colors that you can pick from with our logo on it. Be amazing when you're at Red Bank this weekend. You won't get it by this weekend. But next time Pro Wrestling Clashes wraps back around to your area, you'll be repping a Can Crusher shirt. So go and buy that. All right. I'm done rambling. Because I am set to have my guest, Mr. AJ Black, come on the show. Tell me what it means to be in this tournament, talk about his career, and a few other silly things here on Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast.
Hey, y'all, this is Sam Houston. I got to tell you, if you want to know the latest in wrestling and what's going on, tune in to Can Crushers every time it comes on. I know I will. Later, y'all.
Welcome back to the show, folks. You heard how excited I was to have my guest on from the Shawn Shultz Futures Tournament, and I'm going to ruin it because I've done a little bit of work, I've done some stuff, and I've looked at all the competitors, and my guest right now is my pick for the tournament. Welcome to the show, AJ Black.
Thank you for having me. But I just want to go ahead and say I heard that you said I was your pick, but when you're a third generation, why wouldn't AJ Black be your pick unless you've been living under a rock?
See, now these are things I didn't even know, AJ. Third generation, you have to break that down for us before we get into everything.
Third generation, I am the grandson of former AWA Tag Team Champion who tagged with Playboy Buddy Rose. I'm the grandson of Pretty Boy Doug Summers.
No freaking way. I love them in AWA. I'm marking out over you so much right now because that was one of my favorite tag teams growing up.
Yes, I am actually the grandson of Pretty Boy Doug Summers. My uncle is Frankie Valentine.
Oh, Oh, geez, Louise. This is awesome.
Yes. So it runs in the family.
So my first question then is thrown out the window. It's because it was like, who introduced you to professional wrestling? Like, how? Listen, even as a little, did you know, everybody in your family? How? Just tell me everything. I need to know your story now.
So ever since I was a little kid, professional wrestling has pretty much been in my blood since before I was even shot out of the womb. I remember times where I'd be able to just sit in the room with Doug, and he had a television that he got AWA on, and he actually showed me the very first cage match that they did where they had all the blood with him, Buddy, Shawn, and Marty, and just hearing the way and the backstories of all that was kind of like, okay, professional wrestling is what I want to do. And then Frankie, he's rode my ass a lot. He's gotten me to where I am now, along with a lot of other people that has mentored me, such as B Square, also Bull Buchanan, which is also one of my trainers. I was a sport athlete in baseball, but once it came time to hit the road was all I knew.
Right. And again, another one of my questions is like, when did you make the decision? I'll change up my own question. When did you make the decision then, or was it maybe already made for you to get in professional wrestling?
This was already made for me, but I knew I had a long destiny to fulfill and a legacy that could live on through me. And so once I really got to the age, I was thrown into a battle royal when I was 12 years old, under a mask, everything, right before pandemic hit, and just feeling the crowd made me fall in love with wrestling, and I knew then wrestling is what I wanted.
Wow, that's a secret that not many would throw out there, that 12, because there's some states that get you in trouble.
Yes, it does, absolutely, but ever since then, that's whenever I fell in love with professional wrestling, and that's when I knew it was now or never.
So growing up, because listen, AWA wasn't around when you were growing up. You're a little bit younger than me, and it petered off when I was in high school. So, when was your first seeing like WWE or it was WWF essentially then, or when was that? Do you remember your first match seeing it, or was it legit seeing your family wrestling first before you even found WWE?
It was seeing my family wrestle before WWE, because my other uncle, Billy Knight, and he ran an independent wrestling promotion from 1999. I want to say until about 2009, 2010. That's about when his son took over. It was UIW, Universal Independent Wrestling, down in the West Georgia area, Buchanan, places like that. And it was just, independent wrestling was what I knew before WWE. And the older I got, WWE, it came to me and I understood it. And when I got to watch wrestling as a kid, growing up in a wrestling family, it wasn't being entertained. It wasn't watching. It was make it.
It was tape study and stuff like that as well?
Yes, it was straight tape study. There was no entertainment out of any of it. I think the last time I've ever been entertained, I think I was probably one in, hell, we all know you don't remember that.
Right. So this is going to be a fun question then for you. Did you have favorites? Because, again, this is your words. You weren't entertained, but you were entertained. Because even though, you're doing tape study or whatever, you still enjoyed it. Did you have favorites, yes, or was it instantly like, I like Shawn because of this, or Brett because of this, or Stone Cold because of this? Or it was like, I'm going to steal all this stuff from them someday?
It was a little bit, I'm going to steal some of this stuff from them someday. But even now when I'll go to the gym, or I'll do stairs, or I'll do the treadmill, do the my good cardio, I'm always studying Shawn, Brett, Hunter, Triple H, people like that. I'm always studying. So no matter what it is, if I'm in the gym, going to a show, etc., it's always let me pay attention to this and let me make this mine.
Can you watch wrestling today, like pause your career, watch wrestling for today, and still find some enjoyment out of it? Do you watch the professionals? Because listen, it's a random day, and I don't know Georgia's wrestling schedule essentially, but as recording, it's a Monday and you're going to a show. That's weird for us up in Pennsylvania.
Yes. West Georgia schedule it's very different. We have a lot of shows that run Monday through Sunday consistent. It's straightforward. No matter what, there's always a show in the West Georgia area. West Georgia is very different. People say that the Southern style of wrestling is born in the West Georgia, Alabama area, and once you get in the ring with those people, you understand okay, this shit's real. Yeah. Everybody can think wrestling's fake, but once you step into the ring with the Georgia boy, you understand, oh, okay.
I love this interview already. From your family to everything you're saying. I'm stoked. So, I'm going to beat this to death probably, AJ, and I'm sorry. So you go under the mask young, because we won't keep saying the age, but you go under the mask young, and that's your first match. When do you do a la, and I'm putting air quotes around training, when do you do your real training as of age, and how is that first match compared to that battle royal that you did?
It hurt. Straightforward. It hurt. It sucked.
Right. But I get that. That's a great answer.
I trained on the ground, so that's once it came to a ring, it was okay, this is a little bit of a soft landing, and then you go back to the ground. It's oh, okay, yeah, I prefer the ring.
Right. God, that's awesome. Let's get into. Do you get jitters anymore, or were those shaken out at a young age?
I still get them. It all depends what match I'm going into. If it's people from NWA, people that I'm trying to impress, it all depends. I always get jittery. It's the matter of fact of how jittery I get.
Yeah, I get that.
Showing up to new shows, it's always jittery because you don't know the people there, but once you step into the locker room, it's either, okay, you're going to accept me for who I am, or, hey, fuck you. I mean, I hate to be that way, but that's just how it is down here in the West Georgia area.
Right, and that's where you're growing and you're learning and anything like that, right?
Yes.
So let's pause from wrestling kind of a little bit, and let's throw in some silly questions for you that's wrestling related. If you could be part of any faction that has ever been in professional wrestling, what faction would you be?
I'd have to say probably Evolution.
Why?
Just because you had the veteran, which was Ric Flair, of course, and then you had people like Hunter, Randy, and Batista, who all knew they were good, but they wanted to prove to everybody why they were good.
All right, here's the trick question now, because I just thought of it. Who are you disposing of, you personally, in Evolution?
Randy.
Oh,
without a doubt.
Oh, well, it was good having you on the show. Have a nice no. I was hoping Batista. I've never been a huge Blue Tista fan, but that's okay. I get it. Randy could have probably made it without himself, without Evolution, so I understand where you're going, maybe. Or do you just hate Randy Orton?
Oh, no, I feel like Randy, if anybody got the shaft out of Evolution, it was the mixture of Randy and Batista, because no matter what, Hunter, he was always going to have a spot because of he was good, but in all reality, it's a who-you-know business, and then Flair, I mean, can't go wrong with Flair.
Right. Who would be your valet if you have a valet?
This might be biased just because it was my grandfather, but Sherry Martel.
Yeah, I'm all right with that. Knowing that, I'm so happy you said that. Nothing against other ones, but yeah, Sensational Sherry. And until recently, she hasn't gotten a ton of love. Maybe
No.
it has taken a lot of years for people to understand what we saw in the 80s and even like say, late 70s. She was just, I don't want to say forgotten, but she was compared to some of the other ones that shouldn't have as much love as Sherry deserves.
Oh yeah, no. She, in my opinion, she's one of the most underrated managers probably from that time.
Anytime. But yes, I
Yeah.
definitely agree. Completely agree. 3 people that you want to go to dinner with, dead or alive. And it doesn't have to be within professional wrestling. If you could take any 3 people to dinner, who would it be?
Just because of the road stories, I would take Shawn, Doug, and Buddy.
Okay. God, that would AWA was my thing. It really was. I'm going to stick and stay with this, and I hope you pass this along to your family. But like, I think AWA, if it had a better marketing team, they would have contended with WWF at that time, or even Jim Crockett at that time. They were very located up in Minnesota in the northern parts and everything, but from your family to when Snuka was there, and I know that's a bad word sometimes, but the Beers, the Rockers, they had Scott Hall, Mr. Perfect, like they were all there, even Hogan. I just don't think they had the marketing money, and that's not a slap on Vern Gagne or anything, but they had all the talent that Vince pillaged, essentially.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And if Doug was still here today, he would straight up tell you that too.
Good. At least I got one thing correct in my life then. And I'm glad I'm on the same side as Doug then. I really am, because I thought they had everything. Their shows were great. 4:05 on ESPN, though, was rough because people were still at work. But, yeah, man, you hit my wheelhouse today. Thank you so much, AJ. This is awesome.
Oh, no, man. I'm just glad I'm able to be here.
All right, this is a really stupid question. It always recycles on this show because it shows if you're a sociopath or not. How do you make your cereal in the morning?
Believe it or not, I don't make cereal. I do 4 egg whites, and I eat 93.7 beef.
Okay, but if you were having, you're supposed to play along on that one. If
I were to make cereal, I would do cereal then milk.
Okay, so you're not a sociopath. That's good.
No.
That's good. That's awesome. So back to you and everything. How long have you been in the business? Not family oriented or the younger thing. Like, how long have you been trained and in the business, and where have you been? And give us some of your accolades and stuff as well.
Started training at a really young age, so training probably about maybe 5 years or something. Not pushing the limit. I'm sure it's probably longer, but I'm just gonna go 5 years. Working November will be 4 years.
Okay. Just sticking and staying in Georgia. Have you dabbled in other states?
I have been to Pensacola, Florida, Daytona Beach, Florida, Bryson City, North Carolina. I can't remember the other North Carolina. I've been to Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama. I think that's been it so far, if I can remember.
But in 4 years, that's a lot. Sometimes people are still stuck, and you know what I mean, in their home territory because trainers don't give you the permission. So in 4 years, notching off that many states is really a big loop in your belt.
I think before I was even a year in, I had 3 different states.
That's even bigger because that usually doesn't happen, and you know that as family. Yeah.
Yes, I was very lucky to have Will Buchanan as one of my trainers, though, so it's always good to use a name. That's back to the who you know kind of deal. Me and his son, we actually done a tag for a little bit. I'm sure later on in this podcast we'll get onto that, but me and his son, we did a tag for a little bit. We were tagging everywhere, and then amateur wrestling came along. He took a break. I continued with professional wrestling, and that's when I started hitting the States.
Nice. So talk about Bull as a trainer and how it differs from, Doug or anything like that, because you always had Doug in your pocket, and how do both differ, and What did you take from each one, essentially?
Doug's hurt. Straight up.
Okay.
Bulls, we did a lot of training with no ropes. So we learned chain wrestling, how to get out of shoot holds, stuff like that. And then we got ropes. And then we were able to learn everything. Days in Rain, he'd call it the dungeon, Stu Hart, just take them down to your basement, stretch them out a little bit.
Yep.
We'd go down to the basement, roll around a little bit. Just sometimes we'd have tape studies too, and it would be it's probably why I love it so much, but it'd be world of sport wrestling.
Okay.
So that's a lot of where my studying came from, along with the AWA stuff and etc. Bull was always very good with the stuff he done.
Does he give, and you could say I can't say that, but does he give the class like a match to watch, or is it like, hey AJ, I want you to go watch Larry Zbyszko against Vern Gagne. I want wrestler X to go watch Stone Cold against Brett. Does he put it to your talents, or is it like as a group?
It's to your talent, but because some people, they just think that the shit's boring, but if you want to learn wrestling, then that's what you watch, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That just could be because I have an old school mentality, but...
You answered that before I could say it. I was just going to say, when you're doing tape study, will you go back to the 80s and watch stuff from NWA, AWA, WWF, or... are you watching stuff from the Attitude Era? Like, what your meat and potatoes, the old school, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. AJ Black, tell me in 3 wrestlers who he is.
A pretty boy, without a doubt. The wrestling sensation. And then to top it all off, just somebody who knows he's untouchable.
Okay, so from me, that gives me Doug. Sensation. Instantly you're still taking stuff from Sherry, because man or woman, you should take anything from Sherry. And what was your third one? Top of the world. See, I'm a gnat. I forget once in a while.
Untouchable.
Untouchable. You're gonna backhand me over the phone for this one, but I would say that's kind of Cena for me, because of what he did. My God, am I right with all 3 of those guesses?
Yes.
That's awesome. Thank you. That's awesome. All right, so we're getting to the meat and potatoes, essentially, of this show. Anything you said you wanted to tell me another story about Bull? Do you want to talk more about Bull and doing some tagging or some stuff like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So me and his youngest son, Zach Buchanan, and even before all of this, Ben Buchanan, Brooks Jensen, NXT, we all grew up together. Birthday parties, hangouts, play fight in the ring, play fight in the trampoline. We were all just wrestling. And then Ben got signed, which left me and Zach left. Bull, he was at the sheriff's department at the time, and he had asked me, it was like, hey, I see you're rolling around with Frankie. Do you mind, you want to train? And I was like, yes, absolutely. So me and Zach trained. We clicked, of course, only, growing up with each other. That normally happens because we're tight as hell. And we started this tag team, and it was very, very fun. To this day, there's occasions where we would still tag, and then there was this thing called the Standard. It was myself, Zach, and Jeremy Vane, somebody from the North Georgia area, his son Jaden Vane. We were all 3 in a tag. We were called the Standard up in the Tennessee area. And so just from then, it was pretty cool knowing that I wasn't the only generational guy in my area that was chasing it, like Zach was, like Ben. It was just pretty cool knowing that I was there with somebody that I am close with and somebody that I knew.
Right. That is cool. I love the name, the Standard, too. Did you guys have like any
Yes.
shirts left over or anything? Because it will send you
We
money
do.
right now. I love
We
that.
do on our. It is on our T-shirt store. It's tpublic.com/the standard. I believe. I could be wrong.
Listen, we'll make sure that is correct. AJ will send this over to me when he's off the road and everything, because we're doing this on road. So he'll send it over to me. It'll be linked in the description too, folks, if you are a mark like me and want a Standard shirt, because I just love the name. It just clicks, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's stolen now. Just saying, because like that is something that could be stolen real quick. It sounds too damn good. You better copyright it.
It was absolutely stolen from another guy. Well, not another guy, but like another faction up in Tennessee. They call themselves I think they said they were the Standard of professional wrestling after we had took over Tennessee for a while, being the Standard. And so it's kind of like, okay, I mean, if we're gonna play this shit, then let's play it.
Right, I agree.
And then after that, it went down. It died down. Everything's good now.
Okay.
But it just having something like that was pretty frustrating, because all three of us busted our ass to get that name to what it was.
Right. That's your, golden sombrero, essentially, to hang your hat on. And especially with them, being at your back the whole time. So, yeah.
Right.
F those people that steal stuff. I hate them. So, all right. So you're in. We need to get to the meat and potatoes now. You're in the Shawn Shultz Futures Tournament, and you're my pick. And tell me what this means to you for Pro Wrestling Clash to reach out and say, "Hey, you're one of the competitors this year." What's that mean?
It felt really good, knowing for the simple fact of last year I had to pull out due to a prior commitment. It really sucked pulling out last year. And then when I got the text this year asking would I mind being in it again, I was like, absolutely. This is going to sound very mind-blowing. I actually did not know who Shawn Shultz was until I looked him up.
Well, it's true. And then you kind of swallow your pride, and you're like, oh, damn. You look back and say, what he's done for professional wrestling across the board, you're like, should have known that.
Yes, absolutely.
I was the same way when I talked to Tyler. When we were setting stuff up, I was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, oh, shit. So I'll spill it to you. Yeah. And everybody else down there will listen to it now. Are like, oh, my God, this guy's horrible. But, yeah.
But, yeah, man, just being able to be part of this, being able to talk to Shawn personally like I have so far, I can't wait to talk to him face-to-face and pick his mind a little bit, because it's never too old or never too young to pick anybody's mind.
I agree. At the age of 48, AJ, it is cool to learn something different each day that you can incorporate it into your life and make your life better, essentially. And Shawn's going to do that for you and everybody else in this tournament.
Yes, absolutely.
Are you heading to the seminar that he's hosting as well?
I actually am doing this seminar.
Yeah. Good.
Just because I want to pick everybody's mind, see what can get me to the next level, if I'm going to be honest.
Right, because everybody there is a wealth of knowledge.
Yes.
So how about Pro Wrestling Clash? What's that mean to you? Because talking to Tyler Sutton just the other day, just the charitable work that Pro Wrestling Clash does, I'm happy to be now involved with it on this end a little bit, just to get for like more media out and everything. It means so much to me what they do. How about you?
It absolutely means a lot. I'm just gonna go ahead and be the first one to say it. Tyler busted his ass to make sure that this show could happen.
He did. He did.
From a lot of things. Like I said, I was unfortunately not able to do the one last year, but as soon as I got that message, I was in.
Nice.
But Pro Wrestling Clash, just in general, it's something that looks like it's going to be a bright future for the next generation. And no pun intended, but like the people that are going to be the future of professional wrestling.
Tyler said the same thing. Essentially, you echoed his words. They are. And that's why, a little bit of a soapbox moment, that's why indie wrestling is so good. Don't get me wrong, I love all the other bigs, but when you can get to an indie show and you don't know when you're going to see the next Roman, Randy, Becky, Sasha, or whatever, and you're like, man, I bet you I saw match 5 of their career, and they were so good then. And I gave him 5, or I bought his T-shirt under, different character. You feel like you supported a little bit more than just buying the pay-per-view that doesn't go to them whatsoever.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's something that's always been told to me. This is another shitty part about growing up in a wrestling family, but a tremendous one. The only thing that those companies are is a bigger independent promotion that has money.
You're goddamn right. Wow, you are exactly right. They're just millionaires with deeper pockets.
That's the only thing. That's all I've grew up on. Like, granted, we all would have make it there, but at the end of the day, they're just a bigger independent promotion that draw thousands of people.
Yep. Wow. See, there's my moment of knowledge for today, because that was well said. AJ, I have one more question for you before I want you to give your socials and tell, where else you're going to be and everything, but it's one of my favorite questions I ask all the time. Dream match. Who do you want? Where do you want it? And what stipulation?
Myself versus Brooks Jensen in a no-holds-barred.
In any place special?
Preferably WrestleMania, if I'm going to be honest.
Okay. So when it wraps back around to Las Vegas or any WrestleMania, you don't care, right?
I don't even care. Just surprised I get, as long as I'm getting paid and wrestling in front of all those people, I don't give a damn.
Nice. I love it. All right. So where are you going to be here in the near future? Because as of recording, you're in Georgia, but where else are you heading over the next couple of weeks that, you do a great job on social media. I'll give you that. But tell everybody where you're going to be.
For this weekend, of course, we're from this on Monday. I am now heading to Noonan, Georgia. Friday night, I will be in Wedowee, Alabama for Premier All-Star Wrestling. Saturday night, I will be at Bullpen Professional Wrestling, Temple, Georgia. And then the week after that, I will be at Pro South Wrestling and then Pro Wrestling Clash, where I am going to win the Shawn Shultz Futures Tournament, regardless.
You're goddamn right you are.
And then from there, I can't remember. I'll have to look at the schedule.
Oh, yeah. But like I said, AJ does an amazing job on his socials, putting where he's going to be. He promotes every show that you do the Ricky Morton thing. You're helping put asses in seats by selling tickets, right?
Yes, absolutely. That is the goal.
So give us your socials and all of that so you can get some followers, even from up here in Pennsylvania, that will want to watch you and then watch you win the Shawn Shultz Futures Tournament in days to come.
Facebook is under AJ Black. Instagram and Twitter is AJ_Wrestles21, and YouTube is all that AJ Black.
So you put all your matches on YouTube?
Yes.
See, folks, it's that easy. You want to know who AJ Black is? Head over to YouTube, watch his shit, because he will entertain you. He will put on great matches. He is a pedigree. He is the standard. He is a third-generation wrestler that blew my mind today, and I loved all the AWA talk today, AJ.
Yes, absolutely.
I had a blast, buddy. Did I forget anything? Do you want to shout something else out? Do anything else on the show?
I just want to go ahead and thank you for having me on here. Thank you to Tyler for allowing me to be a part of Pro Wrestling Clash, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the year.
This is Impact referee and senior official of OVW, Daniel Spencer, also host of the Ringside Podcast, giving you a message that you should absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, never ever listen to Can Crushers Podcast, because it's trash. Plain and simple. It's trash. It says it in the name, Can Crushers. Like, really? You could listen to Ringside Podcast. You could listen to Jericho's podcast. You can listen to many other great podcasts that Conrad Thompson does. But why? Why do you listen to Can Crushers? Why? I don't get it. I don't get it. And for the last time, Mark, will you quit calling me, asking me about my extended warranty? I know it's you. No, I'm not going to. My car warranty hasn't run out, so stop it. I know it's you doing those calls. I know you're behind them. All right. I guess I got to say something nice right now, correct? All right, so love you, Mark. Love the show. You're listening to Can Crushers podcast. And, so crush it.
I apologize. One of my best friends in professional wrestling, Daniel Spencer, TNA official, OVW senior official. If you want to listen to his podcast, the Ringside Podcast, go ahead. It's not as cool as Can Crushers, but he gets a little long-winded sometime. He does. That's why you don't get to hear that promo that much. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. AJ Black, and you heard me have many mark-out moments on this show about his family. Talk about not doing your due diligence and doing your homework and everything to find out that he is the grandson of Doug Summers. That's unfreaking believable. My childhood just rewound right in front of me. And the big announcement you heard, I'm sure, that Mr. AJ Black is my pick for the Shawn Shultz Futures Tournament. I will probably get a lot of hate going from here. Everybody else that's coming on the podcast once they listen to this. But it solidifies it when you have AWA royalty in your blood. Sidebar from all that, man. AJ, what a great kid. I love everything that he's doing, grinding. The story that he told when he was under the hood, that's a little bit ballsy, but man, this was a fun interview, guys. If you're going to be in Red Bank, make sure that you are hooting and hollering for AJ Black in the Shawn Shultz tournament on May 17th. It's unbelievable. Man, I can't wait till Tyler sends me some footage and I can watch this whole thing or watch it on IWTV when he gets there. However, we're going to be able to watch it, not being physically in Red Bank, is going to be amazing. Guys, more to come this week, so stick and stay tuned. I'm super excited for all of these, but I got my pick already. So let's see. Remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot. Make sure you tell your loved ones you love them, because you never know.